But yeah, so Absolute Punk for a while had an ad it was a McDonald's ad, and like the Hamburglar or Ronald McDonald or someone would like stand up out of the what looked like the frame of the ad, and it was the most like off. It was like, just completely drained all of your computer's resources, and then it took over like the entire page.
Cool.
One of the best and worst ads ever. All right. Welcome to Noise Floor. I'm Troy Sennett.
And I'm Matt Kistler.
And this is a podcast about music through the lens of our favorite artist discographies. Today we are talking about Rilo Kiley's third album, The Execution of All Things, and maybe manifesting a reunion tour.
Maybe.
Yeah, we've been, to kind of peg the day that we're recording this, just yesterday, a potential complete lineup for the Kilby Block Party Fest in Utah leaked with Rilo Kiley's name on it. There are question marks on the official lineup, but I don't know, I'm pretty confident in this one, and really hoping I get a chance to see them next year.
Yeah, the fact that Lucy Dacus is the other question mark that shows up on that complete lineup gives me a lot of hope that it's legit, because she's clearly gearing up for a new album and probably just doesn't want to announce tour dates yet, so it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I don't know, that's really exciting. This is a band that I've seen Jenny Lewis play live, but just really would love to see a full-on Rilo Kiley set.
It would be very cool. How many times have you seen her live? Because I've only seen her once.
Just once. We went down to Bloomington to see her at the castle.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, it was a really fun show. What is the name of the rapper who opened for her? Serengeti, the Chicago guy.
Oh yeah, they collabed.
We walked in
not that long ago.
Yeah, we walked in late, and he closed his set with a song where he just was yelling onions, onions, onions. It was somewhat surreal.
That is a Serengeti song. I love that guy. He's great.
We did not know what to make of that.
I can see
song.
that being a weird first experience with him. I totally understand.
Yeah, I'm looking at I pulled up the set list. I think she only did two Rilo Kiley songs at that one, Silver Lining and With Arms Outstretched. She did Better Son or Daughter on a lot of that tour, but not that date.
Boo.
Yeah, that was a bummer. But otherwise, a spectacular show.
Nice. I'm seeing if I can find the set list for. Oh yeah. Oh god. Yeah, this was like immediately. Yeah, she played Silver Lining and I Never when I saw her.
Okay.
And I love that stuff from Rabbit Fur Coat is listed as Jenny Lewis with the Watson Twins cover. Even though that it's just a Jenny Lewis song. It's fine. You can just say.
Yeah,
it.
I mean, officially released under a different name, but yeah, Setlist FM is weird with those sometimes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it does. Like it can't connect that the same song person wrote the song.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the album itself, Execution of All Things came out in October 1st, 2002 on Saddle Creek. For 3 years in a row where they're releasing records, or I guess sort of 2 years for full lengths, and the EP came out kind of multiple times over the course of the 2 years before that. But back-to-back years with Rilo Kiley albums. So they're writing a lot at this point, and yeah. I think this is like truly their best stuff. But they, at some point while they were touring on Takeoffs and Landings, they met Tim Kasher. I think they were opening for The Good Life.
Yep.
And he introduced them to Mike and AJ Mogus. Mike Mogus, they run Presto Recording Studios in Omaha, and Mike Mogus, member of Bright Eyes, producer of, dozens, hundreds maybe of great records around that time. All the early Cursive stuff, early Bright Eyes stuff. That's Parasitos. He's basically like essential to that Saddle Creek sound. And yeah. I think that like the kind of marriage of his sound and his studio sound with what Rilo Kiley was doing at the time is just what makes this record magical.
Yeah, I think this record really fires on all cylinders in a way that is like, it's cool that this was their first proper like studio experience, because it really produced an incredible record after
Yeah, I mean,
doing mostly at home stuff.
yeah, it doesn't like sound, from the interviews I've seen, it doesn't sound like it was a great like experience. Like Jenny described it as like kind of a cold and like drug fueled or alcohol fueled recording session. But
That's true.
yeah, but like I don't know. I mean, I hear the like the kind of the sadness and the weariness and the depression in the album, but I think it always has sounded to me like a very kind of warm and inviting production. Like I just love to let this one kind of wash over me, and maybe it was because of when I heard it, but like I don't know, it doesn't feel like an isolating record to me.
No, I don't think it does either. And this is a record that I like first listened to in full like as an adult, which I, as much as like I do wish that I'd been more into this band when I was younger, because I absolutely could have seen myself being way more into them than I was. I feel like finding this record in, not early adulthood, not quite mid adulthood, that weird in between period, kind of fitting in a lot of ways, given
your late 20s,
how these songs are. Yeah, like mid late 20s. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was like 21, I think, when I heard the full album for the first time. I had heard songs as far back as like when I was like 15.
Yeah.
But I got the CD at Waiting Room. I've probably pulled it out of their dollar bin in 2013, and since then it has been in my probably top 20 most listened to albums.
That sounds about right, and is also a correct way to approach this record.
Yeah, so it kind of kicks off with like a song that sounds at least at the beginning a little more like their early kind of drum machine demos,
Yep.
the good that won't come out. I don't know what to say, as this is like a perfect opening track for an album.
It's so good.
Starts off with like the coolest guitar part, and it's so simple but like just catchy as a guitar melody, and it's this kind of like lo-fi drum machine thing, and it just kind of slowly builds over this really like compelling set of lyrics. It's kind of about like this like frustration and like just want to give up because the world is ending, basically, and then it just like explodes at the end.
Yeah, it's really well constructed, because like it feels, it kind of to the point that you've already raised. Like it feels kind of like warm and inviting, but then it's like, oh, climate anxiety, right? Yeah, shit, we're all gonna die. But yeah, no, like my immediate first note of this was, oh hey, we've got an old friend on this, a drum machine that doesn't sound that good, but I mean that in an endearing way.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's so cool that like it builds in such a way that like the like big explosion like towards the end is both like really impactful, but also like not that like, I don't want to say not that surprising, but like it feels very appropriate when you get there. And I think that's something that happens on this record a lot, is like these kind of like big like blown out outros that just like more or less melt your face, to use rock terminology, I guess. But yeah, this I literally have in my notes that I would call this an all-timer as far as openers are concerned. Like it's near perfect, if not perfect.
Yeah, it has a way of like by the end feeling like musically triumphant, even though the lyrics are very much not that. And that's always one of the great contrasts, is like happy sounding music with brutally depressing lyrics.
Yeah, it's that also happens a lot on this record. I'm laughing because it's depressing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really good introduction to like the album as a whole. Like, even though like it kind of lulls you into that weird musical place right out the gate, like it really kind of prepares you for most of what you're gonna hear, in a way you might not expect, kind of given how much, like, how well the song flows and whatnot.
Yeah. And it's got just an all-timer of a lyric, and you say I choose sadness, that it never once has chosen me.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I mean that is kind of the core of this album is this kind of deep self-examination and like trying to find the root of your your worst feelings about yourself and about the world, and and she ultimately takes it like all the way back to her relationship with her mother,
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
and as we'll see throughout the record.
yeah. It's this. We've talked a lot about kind of the importance of specificity in lyrics over the course of this podcast, and I feel like Jenny is a real master of that, because like when you like dive kind of into these lyrics, like they are clearly very deeply personal and very directly tied to her life, but like they're I hate using the word relatable because that sounds so reductive, but they are incredibly relatable in a lot of
Well,
ways.
yeah. Yeah,
Like
no, they are, but there's like one layer of obfuscation there, because I think even in a lot of the interviews, she's like not super willing to talk about the specifics of her relationships and stuff like that, and I think that's apparent in the lyrics too. But like the turns of phrase are so good, and I don't like fault it for not the lyrics for not being like uh the most they're not necessarily like Wonder Years specific or whatever.
oh no, and they don't have to be. Like it's a perfect
Right.
balance that's being struck here.
Yeah.
Like it's deeply personal and also deeply personal for everyone who hears it. Like it's incredible. I shouldn't say I don't know how she does it, because like I feel like I've kind of been poring over these lyrics for a bit, but in a way I still don't know how she does it.
Yeah. So we should go into to Paint's Peeling. This is I have such a bad habit of just like this is every song is like, oh, this is such a cool song, but it is.
It really is. I I feel like what like one, like the guitar work on this song is just straight up beautiful, like bar none. But I feel like the way the instrumentals and the vocals hit during the I feel nothing, it's a hard day for dreaming refrain that keeps coming back is like so locked in and good. Like I think that's the part that I latch onto the most in this song, just with like kind of the like not terribly heavy but like very impactful cymbal hits alongside the like vocal cadence and the guitar cadence. Like that's, I think that like is some real alchemy right there. Also, the phrase "random acts of hopelessness" is a really good turn of phrase.
Yeah. I kind of had the same thing written down about the guitars. I think it's just like a real showcase of Blake's guitar playing. Which is, I mean, a lot of songs on this record are, but this one is I think really really strong.
I feel like we talked a lot about potential on the last couple of albums. Like obviously, Takeoffs and Landings had a lot of like real high highs, but then there were like some places where it was like, yeah, like this doesn't feel fully realized. Like everything here feels fully realized, like 100%.
Yeah, and I think that's, I mean, part of that I think is playing live a lot more, and they said, Jenny said in an interview that this album felt like a better representation of their live show, which I imagine was a little noisier and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah than like what you necessarily were hearing on Takeoffs and Landings. But yeah, so I think there's kind of like a theme of war building through this. Multiple songs mention soldiers, wars, which I think in I think it's building up to something later in the record, and I think that's just worth taking note of at this point in the album.
yeah, 100%. It's very, very obviously there, and not too shocking for this time in our collective history as Americans.
That is true. This is just post 9/11 that they're recording this.
Yep. Yeah, because Takeoffs and Landings came off pretty not immediately before, but like just a couple months before that.
Yeah, that's summer of 2001, and then they're
Yeah.
in the studio recording this in March of 2002.
Yep.
Yeah. So then next up is the title track. This again, another one starts off with a line about soldiers.
Yep.
But I love the like the kind of noisy intro and the bass driven like verse that's going on in there. A lot of cool synth on this one. This is one of the, I think, kind of one of my favorite um production pieces on the album.
Yeah, for sure. I feel this is the thing that we noted on the last episode, but it has that kind of like now classic Rilo Kiley minute long intro that does not feel like it's a minute long and you love it every second. Which is
Yeah.
like the whole synth thing at the beginning. This for I feel like this might have some of the starkest like quality of the instrumental and like the quality of the vocals as opposed to the lyrics. Like this song sounds way more fun than it is by like
Yeah.
leaps and bounds. I've had Jenny Lewis singing the execution of all things over and over in my head for like the last 24 hours, and I'm not
Same.
complaining. Actually, I feel like this album more than the last two, I got varied songs stuck in my head over the course of the last like week and a half or so, which I think is telling about the content of this record.
There are at least 7 like true earworms on this album, and maybe more.
Yeah, and this is most assuredly one of them.
Yeah. I love the little sort of meta reference to their career about like we'll go to Omaha to work and exploit the booming music scene.
Yep.
Yeah, there's that's a funny line, but there's a little bit of like leaving LA and kind of escaping the I guess in this case her her upbringing, her kind of the source of what she thinks of as the source of her pain is like another kind of running theme on this record.
Yeah, totally.
And then the end of the song when the guitar kind of reprises the melody is like pure Rilo Kiley magic. That's why they're so good.
Yeah, and that last verse is just absolutely wild in general. Like just as a whole package, and then of course the outro gets stuck in my head all the time now.
Great song. And then yeah, here's where it hits the wall for me because it's a Blake song on So Long.
Yeah, it's
this one just it breaks the momentum for me.
That's fair. I do find it interesting that like this feels in a way like an other perspective song. Like you're kind of looking at the content of the rest of the record from somebody else's viewpoint. Like that might be reading a little too much into it. But like I'm trying to extract some meaning from this.
No, I actually think that's a good way, like a good lens to look at the song through, because I think there's less of the like Jenny and Blake writing about their own relationship on this record, but I think it's not too much of a stretch to think that that's what this song is about.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of reinforced by the fact that at the end of this song we get the first like snippet of and that's how I choose to remember it, which there's 3 of those on the record, or 4 maybe. I've somehow already forgot. Okay, 3. That's what I thought. I listened to the instrumental demo for that right before we got on here, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize that this was going to be instrumental. I thought it was going to be the whole like song.
Yeah. No, the fragments of That's How I Choose to Remember It are I mean that's more interesting to me than most of So Long, which I think is like I said, kind of a fine song. I just don't like Blake's voice.
Yeah, that's fair. The bridge is very jaunty, and I do kind of like that.
Yep, it is. Too much in my opinion. But yeah, the I don't know if I can think of another album off the top of my head that does like fragments one song across all of the album kind of as interludes, but it really is meant to be one song. I can't think of another album that does that.
I feel like I've heard, maybe I must be making something up, because this feels very novel to me in a cool way.
Yeah, I mean, the Wonder Years do a similar thing on Suburbia, where they have the 2 kind of shorter interlude songs have the same chord progression and melody as the closing track, and they kind of build onto each other. And I think they played them all as in sequence at like one show, like an acoustic show once. But even that is, I think, different than what Rilo Kiley is doing here, because these songs are very much not they're not ever kind of presented as a whole. They're just these little fragmented pieces of memory that I think are, I mean, and Jenny's singing them in like a very childish, very high girly voice that she doesn't usually use. And it's got this like calliope sounding thing musically that makes it just makes it feel like you're stepping into a memory.
Yeah, definitely. The kind of vocal style that the person who reviewed Takeoffs and Landings for Pitchfork would definitely complain about.
Yeah, probably. Although it's like obviously an artistic choice here.
Oh, no, this is very obviously like you said, like this is trying to invoke the idea of a childhood memory to some extent.
Yeah,
to a whole extent, I guess.
Yeah, and really like focusing on the sort of unreliability of childhood memory, or like the need to think of people in a certain way so you don't think that they're horrible.
Yeah, yeah. The real like strong choice of titling it, and that's how I choose to remember it, is a lot. It pulls a lot of weight here.
Yeah. Yeah. Then after that, get to Capturing Moods. This is a jam.
This is such a jam.
Is maybe the best chorus on the album.
Yeah, I think I could agree on that one. I really like so we talked about this back in the day with Thursday. The thing where a vocal will like kind of intentionally go off time or like kind of lag to create like a cool tension, and that happens a lot on the lines that start with theirs in this song, and I really think that's such a cool effect. Especially like Jenny's a masterful vocalist, so like she really pulls it off. And I think it works to great effect in this song. But yeah, the chorus is definitely an all-timer, for sure.
Yeah, that like I don't mind racing through our goodbyes is the one of the lines that is in my head fairly constantly after I listen to this album.
That was happening to me as I was walking the dog before we got on the call here. Like that exact line. Yeah, it's also that bridge about selling your baseball cards to pay your rent, really good, like kind of just like departure from the rest of what's going on in the song, but like it obviously still fits very well thematically, but just feels like oh yeah, we've really grounded ourselves now.
Yeah, and it's a kind of an interesting image that feels like it's not like an image I've heard in a song before. And also the bridge has this very like fuzzed out Rhodes or electric piano that's a super neat sound too.
Yeah, for sure. The one other thing is in the last chorus that like goes into the outro of the song. There's that like kind of little pause between goodbyes and like the outro proper that like that's so tasty. I love that so much.
I love it. Yeah, that's I mean, we never rank the songs on a record, but this is it's up there. It could make an argument for my second favorite song on the album.
I could see that.
Yeah, and I mean the best one is obviously A Better Son or Daughter.
Yeah, that's indisputable. No, if anybody argues against that, that's just incorrect. I don't know what to tell you, bud.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those songs that like I mean, I think most songwriters get like one, maybe two that are this good. It's in the upper echelon of like top 20, top 15, maybe top 10 favorite songs of all time for me.
Yeah, no, this is it. This is definitely a straight up all timer for me. Like, not even indisputably my favorite Rilo Kiley song. Probably like at least top 10 all time songs. Full stop.
Yeah.
There are not a lot of songs out there that get me every time like this one. Like. And I feel like that's the case for a lot of people, including but not limited to Anne Hathaway, close personal friend of Jenny Lewis.
Yeah, she's talked in multiple interviews about how it was like a life-changing song and is like a mantra and a prayer for her. Yeah, I mean, I guess what to even say about this song? It's just that it is just like the purest, like most straightforward sort of first person walk through like a day being extremely depressed, and then I mean, I don't know if it's specifically bipolar, but that's kind of what the second verse is hinting at too, with the kind of the mood swing ideas. And I don't know, this every image in the song is very, it's just so, it's so bare, and like I can't imagine writing this and then going on stage and singing it every night.
Yeah. Like I can't I like I said before we like got properly started, I was in a coffee shop listening to this and taking notes earlier so that I wouldn't just go off the rails like I often do. And I got to the song and was like, okay, if I just listen to the song, I can maybe do it without crying, but I can't read the lyrics also, because that's the bad combo that really hits. Like I said, the song gets me every time, but I can kind of deal if I'm not like focusing too hard. I'm not here to like say what a song is and isn't about, but like I feel like it doesn't necessarily even have to like. Obviously, a song is about whatever you want it to be, but I feel like it definitely obviously addresses like fully being depressed. But I feel like the other end is like the kind of forced nature of like trying to make yourself happy, through faking it or whatever, is like it's one of those relatable things that we talked about earlier, that like
Yeah,
people like you just sometimes have to do, and like sometimes it is literally impossible to do it. I don't want to like discount when people are going through it enough that they can't do that, but like if you are able, it sometimes is about the only way that you can move on with life in general, like in the smallest ways.
yeah. Well, and that's I think it's the percussion in the song is just like a straight up military march, and
Yeah.
I think that's it just drives home that idea that like the faking it is you have to just like force yourself to just kind of march through things. And like I don't know, it's I think it's one of those things that like you can hear it as, like I said, you can hear it as a mantra, or you can hear it as like a this kind of looming horrible thing that's that you have to just like drag yourself along to.
Yeah, but like to kind of go like even a step beyond that, like I the lyrics intrinsically like hold motivation, like external motivation for doing this, like being there for your friends, and like being there for your other loved ones, which like obviously like that's its own like thing for any given person, but like it feels complicated. It's a very like complex song emotionally, and like obviously that's why so many people love it, including
Yeah,
me, including you.
yeah,
um
you can, because you can hear it as like this sort of positive self talk. You can hear it as like a sarcastic, like there's no way I would ever be able to do that. And I think depending on the day you hear it, you can hear it differently.
yeah, god, yeah. I this is a tough song to talk about, because it like I don't want to devolve into just platitudes, because like it's so heavy, and it like, and that's why it hits so hard every time. um I think the parts that hit me the most on this are like kind of those like things about like external motivating factors, like yes, I realize that I'm in this place, but like I want to make sure that I am like doing right by my friends, doing right by my family, doing right by my other loved ones, by me, myself, a person that has to live in this flesh suit and whatnot. Like that hit, that really like kind of gets me every time. And then like kind of that release before the like closing verse of "You'll be handsome, you'll be beautiful, you'll be happy." Like that, yeah, that's definitely one of those lines where it could be like, that this might be sarcastic, but like I don't usually end up taking it that way, depending on the day,
Yeah,
of course.
right.
But yeah, you'll fight it.
Yeah,
You'll
and
go
then
out fighting all of them, etc. I think that's
yeah,
great.
another one of those songs that ends on just like a real triumphant like musical note. That last melody is so like uplifting, even if
Yes.
some of the lyrics aren't, but I mean they kind of are. They go out fighting all of them.
Trending
yeah,
towards positive, I would say.
yeah, I think it's just basically a perfect song.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, if there's something wrong with it, I don't know what it is.
Um, yeah. So then after that, this album takes kind of a weird left turn, I think, in "Hail to Whatever You Have Found in the Sunlight That Surrounds You." I don't know
Yeah.
about this one as much. I don't know what
So
you could put after "A Better Son or Daughter" that's going to be any, that's not going to seem strange or like slight after it. So I guess at least do something different.
yeah, so I'm kind of wondering. I'm trying to see if I can find what side A and side B of this album are, because like so. Well, oh yeah, never
I
mind.
can
There's
tell you
absolute.
that the side A ends with "A Better Son or Daughter."
Okay, well, never mind then. I was gonna say because I know in some cases, and like I don't know how like important this is nowadays with like audio technology being such that it is. I know that like generally lighter, less like drum heavy, and specifically like cymbal heavy songs are put not towards the end of a side is because like the grooves get kind of closer together, and I guess the frequency response like kind of gets messed with as you go closer to the center of a record. But
Yeah.
if this isn't at the end of side A, then that doesn't make any sense.
No,
Um,
the science of it is that like there is the needle is moving over more more groove space in the same amount, but your RPMs, your spinning speed stays the same, but you're
right.
moving over more like length of groove, and so the a denser song is gonna lose fidelity, more that way.
Okay, yeah, that tracks. I had this explained to me many years ago, so I completely forgot what the actual science was. So thank you.
I I think I said that right. Someone even nerdier than me will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I had the math of that right. Regardless, yes, if you can end your side of your record with like an acoustic song, that's kind of the best way. Especially if you're like it's a long side that's going up against the limits of what you can put on a record.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, I don't think that's what's going on here.
No. Yeah, it at any rate, like it is an interesting turn. Everything like I think this is a very good song. It has somehow the least lyrics I think of any other song on this record. Like maybe the most repetition and like the most minimal like collection of words. But I don't think that like takes away from it at all. But
No, no,
it is
not at
cursed
all.
by the fact that it is after A Better Son or Daughter, the best song on this record, one of the best songs, period.
Yeah, it's almost like a bluegrass guitar picking. There's a flute. There's vibes. Like it's kind of the oddest arrangement. But I think like in my head I hear it as Blake singing it, but the fact that it's Jenny singing it like throws me every time I listen to this record.
I can totally see that. This does just like straight out the gate, like couple seconds in, you're like braced for Blake's vocals to come in because like this is the type of song that he normally sings on. Um,
Yeah,
and like, but like to this song's credit, like it's everything's super locked in. I like the synth stuff that happens kind of in the back half of the song. There's that one really long, maybe synth, maybe a flute note. I say maybe a synth because it's way too long for somebody to be doing an exhale for that long. um, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a neat song, but yeah, it's hindered perhaps by its position on the album. But
no, it's definitely the flute. I'm looking at the credits right now. There is no synth credited on this song. I guess there's okay. No, there is a keyboard. Um, but I think
that
the
could
thing you're
mean
thinking of is the
anything.
flute.
Yeah, there's stuff on here that definitely is a synth. Like they're doing the thing where like it kind of goes across the stereo field while like it does some sort of like weird arpeggio thing. It's a cool thing that Rilo Kiley does sometimes.
Yeah. So then after that, we get to My Slumbering Heart. This is kind of like definitely another one of these kind of exploring childhood songs. This a song about dreams, sort of childhood and of the future. Um, I think this is just another great one. I love the baseball stuff in the first in the first verse.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is one of those songs that like is kind of a pardon me for saying this for this song specifically, it's kind of a sleeper hit for me, where it's like definitely not the first song I think of when I think about this album, and obviously that is discounting A Better Son or Daughter. That's obviously the first song I think of. But like, it's so good. Like, it's just a really, really fucking great song. And every time it comes on, I'm like, oh yeah, this song rules. Hell yeah. I'm so glad I'm here right now. There's that huge snare hit, like a little over 2.5 minutes in, that I like. Obviously, I love that because I love a huge snare hit. The only thing better than a huge snare hit is 2 huge snare hits right in a row. But yeah, that makes me real happy. And the bridge on this song is just like enormous.
Yeah, it explodes in a really cool way. Huge guitar solo. Really like kind of blown out drums. Good production there.
Yeah. I have a note here, and this is something that I like can't shake for some reason, and I assume that it goes in the opposite direction, but like this song reminds me that this band at this point is contemporaries with the format, because I feel like they have some like kind of production things that feel like they go a little bit hand in hand. Like, this song feels like it is in kind of the same vein of what the format was trying to do with Dog Problems the next year. And I think that's kind of neat. Like, not in a rip-off way, just a like reminds me of a lot of the moves they were making at that point.
Dog Problems I think is even later than that. I think Interventions is the next year, and then Dog Problems is like 05. But I totally see what you mean.
Dang.
Like, yeah.
For some reason in my head, Dog Problems is 03 for I don't know.
No,
but
I think Interventions is 03. I'm going to confirm that.
Okay.
But I think you're right on about the production influence there. I'm sure that that the various Mike Mogus projects and productions were a big deal for Nate and Sam around that time.
Totally. Also, yeah, it looks like it was released in October of 2003. So, sorry, Interventions and Lullabies was released in October of 2003. So almost exactly a year later.
Yeah. And yeah, this song also has the second fragment of That's How I Choose to Remember It, which is goes even kind of more like kind of specific scene or scenario from Jenny's youth. I mean, she's talked about this in the like New York Times profile that I put in the show notes. About her parents were like a lounge act, and then they split up when Jenny was two or three. And her dad, like she reconnected with her dad much later. Found him like playing like bars in Alaska, and like hadn't had any contact with like his family in decades.
Yeah, because she was like, it was partly to be like, hey, can you play on my album, right?
Yeah,
that was kind of ultimately what came out of it.
Yeah, he plays on, I think, was it Voyager, one of her solo records.
Yeah. Because that was one of the parts of that New York Times profile. But yeah, like, obviously makes this section of this song makes very specific allusion to playing in bars out in Alaska, as it were.
Yeah. And then I like that it ends with that kind of callback to The Good That Won't Come Out, with the talking about the disappearing ground, and this idea that, like, I don't know, she's looking at this mural of the Arctic and imagining that, kind of like I said, better people than her are talking and presumably doing something about the climate change. I mean, this is also like peak ozone hole, I think, if I'm remembering right.
You are absolutely correct. Before we knew that the ozone could in fact repair itself, but also maybe we were still screwed beyond that.
Well, yeah, we needed to do something. We needed to stop.
We
throwing
absolutely
stuff at it. But
yeah, totally. Sorry, to be clear, climate change very real. I'm just saying we're in a different panic now for pretty much the same reasons.
Yeah. Yeah. Then it's Three Hopeful Thoughts. This is the second Blake song. This is the much better one in my opinion.
I feel like this one
record
works like almost full stop. Yeah.
The arrangement kind of feels like a later era Beatles thing. And then it just really rocks at the end. They let loose even more than usual on this album, than other parts of this album.
Yeah, totally. Also, man, this is a grim one for a Blake song. Like,
Yeah.
there's some horrifying lyrics in this one. But like, yeah, overall, like, I think this one really slots in well. But yeah, definitely, like, in some places goes harder than a lot of other spots on the album. Just kind of just a neat song. Very aptly titled too, because that's exactly what it appears to be.
Yeah. Uh, I'm looking at the lyric sheet from the record right now, and they do the thing, not like 100%, but they do the thing that the Menzingers did on the Impossible Past, where Jenny's song, with a couple exceptions, Jenny's songs are written out as like prose paragraphs basically, and Blake's songs are like traditional like poetry style like single lines. Um,
Interesting.
so like So Long and Three Hopeful Thoughts are written out like that, but also Hail to Whatever You Have Found is written out like that and with arms outstretched. So I'm curious if there's like a if he maybe wrote more of those lyrics, or if those lines were just short enough that they looked better that way on the in the layout.
Yeah, that's an interesting way of going about it. Huh. Yeah, I'd be interested to know if that ended up just kind of being the kind of outliers there were just a, formatting choice, or if there's
Formatting
kind of more
thing.
to it than that. Yeah. Um, but yeah, but
Yeah.
then we get With Arms Outstretched, a song that was played on both the first and last episodes of the TV show Weeds, according to
Yeah.
Genius.com. I've only watched the first episode of Weeds. I didn't make it past that.
I've seen the first season. I remember liking the first season and then never going back to it or thinking about it again until Jeff Rosenstock did a cover of the theme song when they did like a whole like a compilation of a bunch of artists covering the theme.
Right, yeah, because he was on that. Rise Against was on that. A couple other great artists were on that. I'm forgetting who all, though, because it was 2007 or something like that. Maybe later than
Yeah,
that.
let's
Maybe like
see.
2009. It
No,
was when I was in college, I think.
yeah. I don't know. I'm sure I can find it. Dirk Bentley did it. Yeah. Regina Spektor has covered it. Um, yeah, a lot of it's a great song. But yeah, the With Arms Outstretched was in that first episode. It's also been in One Tree Hill. The song was like used in a lot of early 2000s TV.
Yeah, and for good reason, to be clear. I didn't mean to lead in with that. I just, every time I see the Genius sheet for this, that's the first thing I'm met with, and I'm like, yeah, all right, that's fine.
Yeah, no, it's a great song. This was, I think, the first Rilo Kiley song I ever heard.
It
It's
I don't think it was the first one I ever heard, but it's one of the earlier ones that I ever heard.
yeah, it's got that like it's kind of like relaxed, acoustic guitar driven thing, and then it just the end just it builds up, and again I keep using triumphant, but that is what a lot of these songs feel like, these big endings.
Yeah, totally. I do love that we have the thing that is actually like specifically referred to as the boy choir on this song, backing Jenny in
Yeah,
the last half of the song, which, like, I think it is really to the point of like the build that it does. Like, it is really effective to have it just be her in that first half and then have the boy choir join in the second half, because like it gets a little loose with the background vocals in a way that I really like. Like, it's clearly very intentional, but it like it does in at certain points feel like a little sloppy, like a sing along, like literal sing along, um,
yeah,
which is definitely like what this song is, especially in the chorus.
yeah.
Um,
Connor Oberst in the boy choir.
yep, I think Tim Casher's in it
Mhm.
too.
I don't see him credited on this.
Oh yeah, no, I guess
Uh,
he played accordion on So Long, and that was it. Yeah, no, it
yeah,
looks like it's Blake, Jason,
Jason Bozol, the drummer,
yeah, yep,
and then
Connor
AJ
Oberst and
Mogus.
AJ, yeah. Well, still very very
Uh,
very good sing along moment. I bet
yeah,
this song goes
it's a
real
really
hard
nice
live.
song. Also, real goes real hard on mixtapes.
Oh yeah, of course. Of course.
Yeah. And then after that, get to the closing track, Spectacular Views. This is a jam.
Yeah. Remember when we had a
this is like
less good song called Spectacular Views? Still a good
this
song,
is
just
it's
not
just
as good as this
it
one.
yeah, it's just like this is the catharsis for the entire record. The moment in the bridge where Jenny just sings it's so fucking beautiful.
Yeah, oh my god. Oh my god. uh yeah, I I don't have a lot of notes for this song just because it's one of those like, man, yeah, this song rules, doesn't it? um
Yeah.
but like
There's a
it
there's a
feels very final, like in terms of like this song literally feels like we're hurtling towards the end of something, which
yeah.
I find very cool.
There's the feedback in the bridge that's like I think worthy of a mineral record.
Yep.
Drum fill that just makes me want to like jump in a pit. Like that's not like a feeling I get often listening to Rilo Kiley. But yeah,
Yeah.
this and it's also like it's another one of those long songs. It doesn't feel nearly as long as it is.
No, it
Um,
definitely doesn't. And obviously part of that is the fact that we have the third fragment of and that's how I choose to remember it. But still, like, the
yeah,
song itself is like 4.5 minutes long. But yeah, it gets so raucous. And some of the we'll talk about a couple of the like the outtakes in a little bit here, but I feel like a couple of those get like a little like more like I guess raucous is the word I'm choosing to use now. But like I feel like this like strikes a really good balance between like, you know, just going 100% all out on like basically killing your voice, and possibly your fingers, and like, you know, keeping it, you know, still super high energy. Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's yeah. This is a great closer, an almost perfect closer, if not a perfect closer.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, when and I do mean when, not if we see them live. This is the song
of
I think that
course.
I'm most excited to see them play.
I think I agree with you on that one. It's this has to close the set, right? Like it's just gotta
You close
before an
you. I mean,
encore
if I'm making the
probably.
set list, you close the main set with this, and then encore with Better Son or Daughter, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, no, of course. That's the good and correct thing. Well, more realistically, I guess okay. I don't have a good read on because I'm not on Spotify anymore. This is not a brag. I'm still on streaming services. I use Tidal instead. Which means that I have no idea what the most popular song by any given artist is because nobody uses Tidal. Um, I Portions for
The
Foxes
I mean,
is the most popular song by them, right? Like
I was gonna
that's number
I was
one with a
gonna guess
bullet.
that it would have to be.
Okay. Good song also. But I do feel like in the year of our Lord 2025, when we will see Rilo Kiley live, uh, we all know that the correct final track is A Better Son or Daughter. You maybe open the encore with Portions for Foxes, and then close with that. That is my perfect set list that I'm putting together in my head actively right
Well,
now.
or you swap the two in that encore, so you end with Portions for Foxes, and don't make everyone go out on like the saddest note. But um,
Ah.
either way, also my streaming service agnostic version of looking at what the band's most popular song is the Genius views.
Oh, yeah.
Where Better Son or Daughter has 110,000 views and Portions for Foxes is second with 50,000. And
Okay,
then it
that makes
keeps
sense. I
going
guess Last
further
FM
down
could
from
tell
there.
us something too. Um,
Probably, although I don't think enough people use that anymore to maybe they do now, but uh
this might be skewed a little more early mid 2000s than I want it to be.
yeah. Either way, I think those we're a bit off of the album, but those are the songs I'm very much most excited to see. Uh
Totally. But yeah,
and
sorry. Back
then
to Spectacular Views. Good fucking closer.
yep. And the last fragment of That's Why I Choose to Remember It is just this kind of like the the one that describes this like a very happy moment that you just don't know if it really happened or not. Which is I guess kind of like a haunting note to go out on.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Yeah, starting this fragment off with specifically the phrase "my dad was nice." Like nice is such a choice for someone like Jenny Lewis.
Yeah.
And it makes perfect sense in this context. Like, yeah, just real good stuff. Sorry, I hope my dog grumbling very loudly isn't apparent in the microphone.
It's
But
not
I'm
coming into my
listening to it.
headphones, so that's fine.
Great. Love that. All right.
Yeah. After I mean, yeah, I mean that's the album. There are a few B-sides to this. There's the couple of 4-track demos that were released on the Archives cassette, which is just an instrumental version of That's How I Choose to Remember It, and a demo of Good That Won't Come Out that is largely the same, but doesn't have the big explosive ending and has just a couple of minor lyric changes. But nothing super significant.
It's got some tape hiss in it, which I do like. But
yeah,
that's a different thing altogether.
And then there's another kind of pair of songs that were released on the Execution of All Things CD single. One of which is Emotional. It's the song is, I mean, I understand why it was a B-side. Although I think it could replace either of the Blake song. It could replace So Long, and I'd be happy. It's got this nice like 3-3-2 groove to it.
Yeah,
but it's fine.
Yeah, I think this feels very much like maybe not their most aughts emo song, but up there in terms of their aughts emo song adjacent things, which I think is kind of part of what it doesn't make it work on this record. But yeah, really good song. I wouldn't have been upset if it was on there. Again, just not 100% sure where the best place to put it would be, and it would feel. I feel like it would feel like more of a left turn than God, I'm struggling to remember the full name. Hail to Whatever You Found in the Sunlight That Surrounds You. I was just gonna say hail and then like go from there, and it wasn't gonna work very well, so I had to look back. But yeah, I think it's a really good song. You get some Jenny Lewis screams in there, which is really cool for me personally.
Yeah. And then the other one on that single is the cover of the Velvet Underground's After Hours. I don't really know the Velvet Underground as well as I should. But I liked this cover.
Yeah. I listened to the original today too, just to kind of compare. They really make this one their own. Because the original is very, very bare bones, like pretty much mostly guitar and vocals.
Okay.
And they don't have a dog barking at the end, like Rilo Kiley does, and also the intro just doesn't the intro that Rilo Kiley does doesn't exist in the original song either, so it's like
okay,
the original's like literally 2 minutes long, so like the whole like 45-second to a minute long intro is their own thing. Yeah, they make this song like a lot more fleshed out, in terms of arrangement. It sounds like a Rilo Kiley song when Rilo Kiley does it, which I think is a really neat way to go about a cover, is like kind of take a song that like kind of lyrically fits what you're all about, and then like kind of extract what's essential about the instrumentals, and then arrange it how you would arrange any other song.
I think they did a good job with this one.
Totally.
And then the last of the B-sides from this era is Jenny, You're Barely Alive, which was released on a the Saddle Creek 50 compilation for their 50th release. This song rules. I had not heard this song until this week. Didn't even know it existed. Cannot believe this wasn't on the record.
Yeah, I am shocked by that, honestly. I wrote that everything feels like it's falling over everything else, parentheses complimentary, because it really does. Like, it's a really wonderfully arranged song that feels like it's about to fall apart the entire time.
Yeah, I can see the like argument that it's a little too messy, a little too punk for this album, but like I don't know, I would replace Hail to Whatever You Found, So Long. This one could easily earn a place on the record, especially because it feels to me like a companion piece to Better Son or Daughter, in the sense that it's like it's the more like angry song about depression.
Yeah, totally.
And kind of and kind of like trying to look at yourself from the outside and see how other people see you, um, for better or worse. I don't know. This song is it's awesome.
Yeah, I would have not been mad about this song making the record. Again, like it in some ways, sure, it makes sense that it doesn't fit the wider sonic palette of the record, but like it's so good. Remove a little bit of the tape saturation, maybe scale back the screams a little bit, and it's fine. It totally works.
Yeah,
But no, like the recording, I'm glad the recording is the way it is. Like even if it does sound out of place for this particular set of songs, like it's so cool. It's such a good song.
yeah. Um, and then yeah, I mean that's kind of it for the music of this era. I think this album is just it's I think it just shows again and again how masterful it is. It keeps being cited as an influence by tons and tons of artists. Waxahachie has talked about how important it was. And then in 2020 there was that compilation that I put the link to, which I have not listened to all of. I just picked and chose a little bit of it, but a compilation called "No Bad Words for the Coast Today." The lyric from Spectacular Views, where they got artists to cover every song on the album.
Yeah, that the lineup on that comp is really really good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Mannequin Pussy out here getting the chance to cover Rilo Kiley. I love that for them.
Yep.
But yeah, I only got to listen to a few songs from that, but it's cool. The I don't remember who the first band is that does the cover of The Good That Won't Come Out, but that one's like pretty straightforward, but still very good. But then it starts to get into more like
Glady.
Glady, yeah.
Yeah.
Like a very good faithful cover. The lead singer of Speedy Ortiz does Paint's Peeling. That's a very cool interpretation of that song. And Mannequin Pussy does The Execution of All Things, which again, like a pretty faithful cover, but like still feels like they're really taking it in their own direction. And that's about as far as I got. So I'll have to listen to the rest later because there's a lot of bands I really like on there.
Yeah, I want to shout out not part of or not a song from Execution of All Things, but there's a cover of Glendora at the end of the comp by Annika Pyle.
Yeah.
Who spoiler for my end of the year list, released my favorite EP of the year.
Nice. I
Um
don't know if I've listened to that
we'll
EP
talk
or not.
It's really good. We will be talking about it in the future.
Cool. Love that. I'll have to go listen to it immediately.
But yeah, I kind of as an ending, I really love this album. I think it is basically a masterpiece, you know, give or take a Blake song. But I think it's one of those, like, basically if you've got any interest in kind of this indie emo scene from this era, this album is basically a must listen.
Yeah, this I cannot imagine listening to this album and not getting something out of it. Like maybe not the entire thing for everybody, but like I feel like there's a little something here for everybody.
Yeah,
at very least. But yeah, this is a very incredible and special album to me. So I'm glad we're finally here.
Yeah. So next week we will be back talking about Rilo Kiley's jump to a major label and another very eclectic, very good album called More Adventurous. Yeah, see you then.
See you then.